through fasting. That's why Jesus spoke to the devil and said, remember, he's speaking as a man. Man does not live on bread alone. Kung hindi mo katuloy yan, sino bulan tamatan naman rin ito? Bulan tamatan naman sa ito. So those 40 days in the wilderness, he was meditating on the Word of God.
Yeah.
He was communicating with the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit took him to the wilderness and fellowship with the Holy Spirit. So when he was tested physically, mentally, pride of life, he passed all that, the very thing that the first Adam fall. He fall in everything because of the maturity inside.
Yeah.
And we just want to encourage you. Maybe a lot of preaching and sharing is not focusing on prayer and fasting and reading the Word. But these are the most important things that make us very mature or very wise in our decision making. Even though you can be still young, you can be still going to school, your maturity is much more according to your age.
Yeah.
And
fasting is very important because fasting gives you, that platform that you can talk to God and you're so confident of God. That's how powerful fasting can be. Fasting is, I can be a strong advocate for fasting because I learned about fasting in a very early stage of my life, my walk with God. I started fasting when I was still in primary school. I was still in the Methodist church. My father is a Vakatawa near Lutwesele, and they don't teach fasting. But I was doing fasting. I never realized that I was fasting without knowing the meaning of fasting. I used to make, I always call it like a deal. I used to make this deal with God because I pray. At home, we are very good with our Bible verses. That's what our Father takes us for Bakatawa, Nilotu. And also, we are very good in prayer. We pray together in the morning. My father, like I always share this. It's very common to hear or listen to people testifying about praying mother. But for me, I have a praying father. And I'm very grateful for my dad. My mom, I don't hear my mom pray, but I hear my dad pray. And he prays very early in the morning, he prays in the middle of the night, and before we walk out into do our farming, at about 4:30 in the morning, we do our prayer. We come back before we go to school, we do our prayer. So prayer was a very strong element for us, being in the Methodist church then, in that early age of my life. But I never hear about anything about fasting. But because my father is always saying, we always have this rule at home, you don't qualify for a new pair of shoes for the next school year or a new bag, not until your position in class is 5 down. You have to be between 1 to the 5th. Only if you fit in that category, then you qualify for a new school bag and a new pair of shoes. And that is normal. Growing up, that was our normal. So all of us at home will always fight and work hard to be in that category and he doesn't mince his word and he doesn't change his mind. Regardless, if you go beyond, and he knows the capability, like my father knows our capability, because if he says, okay, if I know that you cannot, then I will tell you so, but I see that you can, but you're not working as hard. And that used to be. But for me, I was so desperate to be in that position, so I make a deal with God. Look, listen, I've never heard about fasting. I've never been taught. And you may be the person hearing fasting this morning for the very first time. And I used to make this deal with God, and I used to tell God, okay, I will not eat. All through my exam week, I will not eat. Or, Lord, Jesus, I have my exam scheduled for next week. I will not eat. And I will only drink water. I will not have anything else. I just need you to make sure that I'm within the category because I want a new pair of shoes and a new bag. And I was doing that. Yeah. And it's amazing what God always do. All throughout the year, I came first from class 1 right up to class 8. And those students that are listening to me, we were in primary school together, you know. And by class 8, imagine, I was running and looking after the school canteen. Taking the money, counting the money in the head teacher's office, getting it ready for banking, only in class 8. And I can see the maturity that comes with it. Listen, I'm doing this without knowing that I was fasting. It was, for me, it was like a deal with God. And that is why I can be a strong advocate to talk about fasting because I've done it.
It worked very, very well.
It works.
See, you having a deal with God to become first or to the 5th. And God make you first from class 1 to class 8.
Yeah.